Hey, welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your temporary host, Phil Townsend. Let me bring the fellas in. Got
Turn the TV off.
Mr. Mark Howard,
Yes,
comedian
sir.
extraordinaire, and
That was not my TV. Let everybody
the
know.
big man of two dogs, Sports Talk Show, Mr. Jeremiah Watts himself. Let's
What's
get this
going on?
party
What's going
started.
on? Let's go.
Hey, tonight, we had the big NBA draft, and as expected, Victor Wembanyama went number one.
Wimba Yamba.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving him a name. You notice I put Webb on the thread, but
Right.
anyway, that guy went number one. Do you all think he's going to be that generational talent that they're saying he is?
I'll go first. As much hype as they giving him, I think it's a lot of pressure on him. He's only he was what 22, somewhere up in there. He's been playing overseas, competition overseas ain't as tough as it is over here. And so they're gonna bang his body. They're gonna push him around. They're gonna test him. Especially I don't know if he can really get down there and bang with the big boys. All the highlights I ever see is he always on the perimeter. So I think his body type, the way it look, he can add probably about another 10, 15 pounds onto his body of muscle. But I'm hoping he is. He's going down there with Pop, and Pop used to having them big men down there with David Robinson and Duncan, and so we're gonna see. I hope he do. I like me personally. I like Miller. I like Miller probably going to Charlotte to play with ball a lot better than I like Victor going to San Antonio.
Mark, how about
Oh,
yourself?
yeah. He's 19, Jeremiah.
Right.
Okay.
He turned 19 last January. I don't know. I've seen that he's skilled. I think there's some things where they're trying to get his body right. So I don't know if he's built for the wear and tear. He might be a little. It ain't about the weight. I think he just might be a little fragile. Those ligaments. I don't know how he grew or anything like that. But can't really. I'm not trying to proclaim that with someone. It may take a process. He may need that process and time like Joel Embiid. And then really get there because Joel Embiid was skinny. So we shall see. I do like Miller. I'll be honest with you, I'd like to have seen my Wizards get him. I would have. I
Hey,
don't know.
hey, there's always a possibility because Jordan don't do good making picks. So, but he's the minority owner now, so he might not have a say so.
It would be best that he didn't. And I'm gonna say to you on that real quick, Phil, is that if Miller goes to Charlotte, I don't know if that's going to work. Because I think he's going to be the guy, and I don't know if they're ready for that to happen with Ball. Because I think Ball can only take you so far.
Yeah, well, Ball is an outstanding person to have on your team. Miller, sorry, Mark, will not unless they trade up to get him. He won't fall to the Wizards.
No.
That won't happen. But they've been working with Victor's weight for the past season. So again, I can understand the concern playing a much shorter schedule than what the NBA plays. But he's been playing professionally with professionals, and they bang you around over there. Now, the thing is that hopefully he's going to the Spurs, and they've done plenty of work with big men. And right now, I hope they understand that this isn't a big man to put down in the 5 position. So even though the league doesn't have those pounders and everything like that, that's not where to stick him right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. This guy has everything. He can handle the ball out, great jump, shooting. My goodness gracious. I can see why they say he's the best prospect ever coming out. And so it'll be interesting to see. just exactly what he does. But, just for a moment, I know we're in basketball right now, but I do want to mention something about football and the Dallas Cowboys since Vance isn't here. I want to get that. Where do you think Dallas is as far as the NFC goes? Where their standing is behind the Eagles, comparable with the Eagles? Because the one thing Dallas did by drafting the guy out of Michigan, they shored up the interior of that defense, and that's where Dallas was really vulnerable in the against the rush. That rush defense was pitiful. So where do you think they stand there, Mark?
People will think it's homerism or stuff like that, but I'm not there with Jalen Hurts that I'm in love with him just yet. No. His running what he's done is he's thrown less risky passes, and he's used his legs a lot more efficiently. And I want to see team, like you said, we clogged up the middle a little bit. And if we take that away from him, we could take that away from him. Now I want to see if he can really beat you with the pass. Eventually, as a quarterback goes, they got to beat you with the pass. I don't care, even Lamar Jackson, you got to beat him with the pass at some point. And it's a passing league now, too. So I'm not sold. I think he definitely give him kudos because he improved to what he did year before last because he liked to get the ball to the other team. I think some teams will make adjustments, and then that's where, again, the football skills, the quarterbacking skills have to come in. That's where he'll be exposed. Good guy, good person, doing a lot of good things, but he's an Eagle, so I could care less about him.
Jeremiah, because I have a comment on that.
Come on with it.
I think as far as player-wise, I think we're up there with the Eagles. Getting getting Gilmore on the other side, even though he's a little bit older, but he still is a threat. And so you got Diggs on one corner, you got Gilmore on the other, you got Wilson in the back. And then you got, like Mark said, you got someone to plug up the middle, which that was hurting us. Dallas they drafted for need. It wasn't necessarily as far as talent. They drafted for need on what they needed to shore up their team. Our scary part is you got Mike McCarthy calling the plays now. And so that is the question mark on how Mike McCarthy is going to do with calling these plays. He hasn't called plays in what 5-6 years now since he's been back. And so he hasn't called plays. That is the iffy part. But as far as everything else, I think we're right up there. I don't think Philadelphia got too much better. I like their draft picks, but they're unproven. We don't know what they're going to do because you're not playing against Vanderbilt. You're not playing against these other small schools. You playing against boys that's just as strong, just as fast as you are. So I really want to see how this pan out. But to tell the truth, and just looking at it from media point of view, Philadelphia is still the number one team to be beaten in the NFC East. Until Dallas do something to knock them off, Philadelphia is the team to beat in the NFC East. And that's coming from a media standpoint. From a fan standpoint, I can care less about them Beagles.
Okay, so now let me get this right. You weren't talking about Dallas isn't playing Vanderbilt and all because Philly just went to the Super Bowl. So they're
no. I'm talking about them Georgia defensive linemen and stuff. They not playing the Vanderbilts no more. They playing high caliber football players. Let's see if you can do the same thing you did at Georgia. In the NFL. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you right there. Because let's face it, you bring in two new ones. One of them didn't play that much last year anyway. One of them did quite well. So it'll be interesting to see just how they blend in on that. But Mark, Jalen Hurts is one of the best down the field throwers in the NFL.
Yeah,
That's fact. And
yeah.
so him trying to make him pass, you're calling a strength. That's not a weakness for Jalen Hurts. Uh, and then given the dogs he has at receivers. But what I liked about Dallas, not only did they shore up the interior on the defense, but they have so much depth when it comes to the defensive line play. So that's the great thing. But the number one thing I like about Dallas, you may not be happy with the choice, but they added speed in Brandon Cook. And that's what that offense was missing, was some downfield speed. And I got to tell you, I'm loving the fact that I don't know how they're going to play him or get him in the game, but
I
the
like
fact
Deuce
that
Vaughn.
but they picked up Deuce Vaughn.
I like Deuce.
I know me and Jeremiah get criticized because of it, but I'm telling you, that dude is for real.
He's already working in the weight room. He ain't took no days off. He pumping it. I think Deuce Vaughn has a chance to be a 10 carry back, carry the ball about 10 times a game, with about five pads. So he probably touched the ball about 15 times. If you can teach him how to pass block.
Back to the NBA, and let's get into some of these coaching firings. First, I want to start with an already situation where you almost had a balance in the NBA of black coaches. You almost had a split structure in that. But now you lose Doc Rivers, Monty Williams. There are people out there like Sam Cassell, who should have been a coach, in my opinion, years ago. So are we going to see at least 2 black coaches hired in this offseason? Because there are some really good white coaches that got fired that are out there too.
Well, in my opinion, I hear what you're saying, Phil, but because you got Nick Nurse out there, you got Budenholzer out there, they want to still coach. You got Monty Williams out there, which they like. And so these are coaches that have proven that they can take a team, turn it around, and build them up, and win. And so there's a good possibility that you can have Nick Nurse or Monty Williams at Milwaukee. You know, you also heard about that Mark Jackson was interviewed at Milwaukee this week. So it's, you know, who knows? It's gonna be crazy right now. And then by Doc being just got fired, now his name is in the ring for some. We know they're not going to Toronto. They're not going to Canada.
Okay, all right, Jeremiah. But
who's not going to Canada?
Hold on, Mark. Because I'm Mark. What I want to take you on, since you did have a snicker there about Mark Jackson. Just where do you think, and do you think that Mark Jackson has a chance to coach in this league again, and especially getting a coaching job now, because he's been passed over quite a few times? And first, let me say hi to Why Not Me. How are you doing?
Yes, hi, Why Not Me. I would say there's progress if he got an interview. And so in that point, and I've said before that he has said some things that were pretty controversial, very controversial, and feeling to be insulting to a group of people, that it's made it very, very difficult for him. I mean, for the point where basically I said he's been blackballed. And I'm not here to indict his ability to coach. Although the longer he stays out, the more urban legend makes him greater than Phil Jackson. You know, but I think the thing is that unless he has came and made amends to certain things about what he's said and how he's conducted himself at some point, and again, this is the point I'm guessing for what they're having a complaint about. This is not my call on it. This is what is in his way. So I don't know. I just don't see where That's what I say. I know the call is for him, but I'm saying to you is that it's a deeper situation as to why he's not getting the opportunity to coach again.
Okay, well, let's take a station break. You're listening to TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And now we're back with our number one rant from Mr. Two Dog Sports Show Talk himself, Mr. Jeremiah Watts. What you got for us in just a doggone minute?
All right, everybody. I'll be doggone if Ja haven't went and did it again. And this is not just incident number 1, incident number 2, incident number 3. There's 4, 5, 6 incidents that he's done it. And my thing is, it's not about Ja per se, but it's about having yes people around you. This is one of the issues with these All-American athletes that's been these super athletes their whole life and everything. There's nobody around them that will tell them no. And they don't have anybody, they don't put people around them that would tell them no. Everybody around them is sitting there telling them yes, yes to this, yes to that, because they're leeches and they want to have and be around them because they're famous and they got money. So they don't want to tell them no, because they're afraid that they're going to get some of that money. And this is the problem that you deal with a lot of our athletes, with a lot of, you allow them to get away with so much. And then when someone do tell them no, they have a conniption. They about to lose their mind. And someone has to stand up and tell this dude no. And if you're successful, you need to have someone around you that's going to tell you no. You don't need yes people. That's one of the issues. Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, they was best friends, and Charles had to end up saying something about him because he worked for the media, which wasn't a yes answer. And so now they're not friends no more, not even speaking. Coaches, people, you must tell your best player no. I'm a former basketball coach. Marc's a basketball coach. He's talked about how he's had to tell some of his best players no, and the parents sitting there having conniption and going at him because he done stood up and made their child be accountable, no matter how good they are. If these coaches and if people don't start telling these young people no, I don't care how good they are, you're gonna end up with a situation where, like you're dealing with Ja, where he has lied. He told the commissioner one thing, he told Jalen Rose one thing, and saying that he learned his lesson, and now all of a sudden we back in the same situation again. Someone has to say something to him, and it's going to take someone getting around him and telling him no. And I'll be doggone if I'm not out.
Well, look, Jeremiah, I appreciate that, and that is so much, Mike. Excuse me, Mark, I know you may have a comment on that, but first I want to say this. I want to give a good shout out and congratulations to Jeremiah's wife. They do such tremendous work in the Tulsa area, and she was just a recipient of the Compassionate Tulsan of the Month Award.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's
nice.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Mark, what do you have a comment on what Jeremiah just said about the whole Ja Morant situation?
Well, I'm gonna have a version of it, my rant, but on that aspect of it, it'll be a little different. So, but on that aspect, yeah, there's too many enablers, too many people who are playing the game that he's allowed himself to get closer to, and they don't know any better. They don't have to lose what Ja has to lose, so they don't understand. And it's a trip now because we're still stuck in that mindset, like as if a person's supposed to got to prove that they're cool, they're down with their people by doing the same stuff that they do. And this is, it's just silly. It's very silly, very ignorant and sad because not just yes people, his parents are failing because his mama's sitting there calling him and getting him into stuff. You ain't call your husband because a dude talking trash. You call your son.
Okay, well, Mark, save some of that because I know you got something for your rant.
That's all I said. No.
I want to welcome Rodney Kidd. Yes, the Spurs did get the first pick, Rodney. I don't know if that means you're happy about it. It looks with that exclamation point that you are. But
I
anyway,
think he's quite
again, let's take
ecstatic.
another station break. You're in tune to the African American Network, that's CAN TV, where we have a local feel with a global reach. Mark, speaking of your rant, let's get to it. Comedian extraordinaire, Mr. Mark Howard. Talk to us, Mark. Mark's rant.
So, my take about the situation with John Moran, everybody's on about his decision maker. We see that. My rant's on the people, our people, who want to sit there and lay excuses for him still. They did it the first time he got suspended before, and it always falls onto this, well, he's young, and then they want to make it racial. Well, what about the white folks? The white folks can have a gun, but we can't. No one says the man can't have a gun. I believe in the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment right. I'm good with that. Okay? There could be some amendments to it with these automatic weapons and things like that, but with anything, there's a responsibility with responsibilities that come with rights. So I'm with that. You can have a gun if he has registered weapons, no problem. But it comes with responsibility. What are you flashing it for? Why do you need to flash it? And then your friend, after you've already gotten in trouble and made a big stink about him showing the gun and probably talked to him, this is not what they want to see. The NBA says this. His friend puts it on IG Live. Well, he don't know he's on IG Live. He picks the gun up. When he could have just erased the post, but he shared it. Problem is, really, it's alcohol and whatever other substance they may be partaking in. I'm not here to speculate, but we know there's alcohol involved. He likes to drink a bit, which is fine. I drink too. So you're losing control of yourself because you're inebriated too often. Your guys are doing too much. You're hanging around people that don't, like I said, that don't have nearly as much as you have to lose. They're just hangers on. And if you can't sit them down and straighten them out, especially your best friend that's come up with you want to keep close, the people that know you that you could trust, if you can't get them to understand this is the way it has to be, then you need to make the decision to move on or keep a certain distance from them and still be their friend, but understand, hey, I can't roll like that. But everybody else wants to make these excuses about, hey, look, he's in the NBA. He is an independent contractor. This is what people understand. A lot of time people get on these athletes talking about they work for someone. No, they're independent contractors. They're not employees. They're independent contractors contracted to a team, an organization within the governing body of the National Basketball Association. It's a private industry. Private industries have their own rules. They can make their own rules and laws and bylaws, as long as it's not discriminating against the laws out here in society. They're fine. They can have their strict rules. And if you don't want to go by them, then don't. Go work somewhere else. It's not being an ass. It's not sucking up to them. It is what it is. When you have your business and you want things to go the way you want them, and you have that right, that's what you want. So forget all that. Stop talking about why can't he have a gun and white kids. Show me when you see a white kid out here flashing a gun. Show me when you see a white player doing that stuff, flashing a gun. And then we'll say something about it. I promise you we will. All right? We're not saying nothing about him because he's black. We're just feeling bad about him because he's black, and we know how hard it is for us. So understand what you're in a good way, and also what it requires on the back end. You're an independent contractor. You're not nobody. You ain't nobody's employee. You ain't punching no clock. but you're also getting paid millions of dollars. They're paying you, and the people that pay you, they have a right to have a little something to say. If I'm getting you $200 million, I'm gonna have a little something to say about what you do. Because if I'm giving it to you, you can't mess up the return. I'm only giving you 200 million because you can make me 2 billion. All right, that's all I got on that, man. Just figure it out, dude. Your parents are killing me, man. It's
Hey,
mom, grow
Mark,
up yourself.
but Mark, you raised a good point that if they were drunk or high, now you done added more stuff because now if you drinking, probably your partner drinking, and you drive, and now you're driving under the influence, and so you done added more stuff to you. It's just
It's a whole lot.
it is ridiculous, and like you said, we ain't got no problem with you bearing arms, but you can't be stupid.
Well, look, that's great stuff from both of you, and I can definitely go along with what you said. And then there's also this. I used to love, and you all have been around frats. Mark, Jeremiah, neither one of you are in a fraternity, right? Only Vance on this show, right? So
yeah, I won't talk about that. That'll bring up something. But go ahead.
But I used to love going up to all the different frats and acting like I'm doing one of their handshakes with them. It would piss them off, something seriously, right? So you can only imagine when you're doing all of these little gang signs and everything, and what has happened? The Crips have taken notice, and they aren't liking it. And so he really better be careful.
He don't put a target on his back that's unnecessary.
So he's got to be careful about that. Okay, fellas, let me take another station break. Then I'm going
to nice block. Woo!
With my rant. Anyway, you're in tune to TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And it's time for Feels Always Right.
Mm. And aptly titled.
Yeah. Look, this is going to be short and sweet. I will tell you right now, this whole judicial system is broken. I know I'm not telling you anything new, but when you have the Supreme Court, who does not want any type of monitoring over what they do, they are supposed to be, if anything, the spick and span round of jurisprudence that we are supposed to set up and look to them and say, well, we know everything's good there, but we know it's not. We have all of this corruption going on between Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch, and well, we all know that the FBI didn't do the right thing with Kavanaugh and his his sexual assault charges. And when you have the Supreme Court, the head of the court, Justice Roberts' wife, basically being the headhunter for lawyers that will go up before his court. This is all just insane, and they don't want anyone to hit them with some bylaws that they have to follow. Never mind every other justice, federal justice, be it local, district, or whatever, they have guidelines that they have to follow. My big disappointment in that was that you have 3 liberal justices, and they along with the conservative justices all signed off on a letter stating that they didn't need any type of code of conduct. Are you kidding me? They should have been, that was their moment to say, yes, you know what? In light of the things that have come to light, it's time for us to do something. But they followed suit right there. That tells you in itself that nothing is going to be resolved as it is. I'm glad to hear that there's legislation being proposed again to add 4 more justices to the Supreme Court to try and balance this out. I just hope that President Biden will take the time and do just that. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. and I want to bring the fellas back in, say it's been a wonderful night. I do want to get your choices on two things. No explanation, just your choices. Coming out of the East, between the Heat and Boston, Mark, who do you have?
Boston.
Jeremiah.
Boston.
Okay, out of the West, the Lakers are getting blown out right now, literally.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
Well, they're behind. So, that's blown out to me. So, who's, hey, they're my Lakers. So, who do you have winning that, Mark?
I got Bron and them. They're only down by 10. It's not a blowout.
Yeah.
I got Bron and them winning this.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a little different order. They may lose these two in Denver, have to win home court and still one in Denver in the back end.
How about you, Jeremiah?
I got the Lakers. The Lakers Boston series, which is going to get bukus of ratings.
All right. Hey, Sideria. Well, we do know that because the Lakers just finished up doing their thing with the Warriors, that was the highest rated thing since almost 20 years. So when you have those Lakers and when you have that man with the crown, it's all good. Look, I want to
sorry to you Warriors fans and especially Vance, the Bron haters.
Yeah, for sure.
They thought that was going to be a way to say, oh, well, Steph is actually better than LeBron in this.
Well, hopefully next week we can get Vance back with us. You've been here with Mr. Mark Howard, extraordinarily one of the finest comedians you'll run into. LUL's up. You're talking about it. And the host of Two Dog Sports Talk out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jeremiah, tell them how they can get you.
Hey, you can catch us on Facebook. We got on a $2 Facebook page. We got a Twitter page. We got Instagram, and also on YouTube. Go subscribe. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our page. You can get all our shows, everything we do.
Hey, and I'm your temporary host for the night, Phil Townsend. Again, you're in tune to TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach, and we're out of here.
Peace out, fellas.
All right, y'all.
Tell me what's the vibe.
I can tell your love is so unreal to me. When I look into your eyes and see, the realization that you're down with me. From one to one, it's you and me, yeah. Baby girl, you got it. Show all about it. So won't you come and be with me, yeah. Just can't deny it. Ain't mad about it. Ooh, girl, you set me free. Say I got ya. I know you feel the same way too. Certified is just the way it is. From one to one, this love's so true. Yeah, baby girl, you got it. Show all about it. So won't you come and be with me? Yeah, just can't deny it. You set me free. One chance, love, talking real love. One chance, love for me. One chance, love. Certified. loves